In this video, I will show you how to dual boot Kali Linux with Windows 11. We're going to install Kali Linux alongside with the Windows 11 operating system on the same drive without any data loss. This guide has been newly updated and is one of the safest methods for setting up a dual boot on any computer without risk of data loss. However, it's recommended to back up important files to the cloud or an external drive. Also, at the end of this video, I will show you how to safely remove Kali from the dual boot. Be sure to watch the video until the end to avoid any confusion. The only requirements of this video, you need Windows 11 running on your PC or laptop. Next, you need 8 gigs or higher pen drive to create a bootable disk with Kali Linux. Lastly, you need to reserve a free space of 40 GB or higher from your drive. That being said, moving into step number 1, open the search bar and type diskmgmt to access the disk manager, which shows all of the connected drives along with their partitions. In my case, you can see that one drive is connected. If you notice, drive 0 has 3 partitions. The first one is the EFI partition where the Windows bootloader is present. The second one is the main Windows, and the last one is the recovery partition. I'm going to choose the C drive to shrink the free space for Kali. In your case, it might be D, E, or F. Just choose the partition and right-click on it. Now choose shrink volume and allocate a minimum of 40 GB or more for Kali. In my case, I'm going to allocate 180,000 megabytes. Then click on shrink. Now this will create an unallocated free space. That's it. Now we have done creating a free space for Kali. Now open your favorite browser, go to the official website of Kali Linux and click on this download button. At the time of recording this video, Kali Linux 2024.1 is the latest version. You can choose the default 64-bit ISO, or you can pick everything ISO that contains every tool possible. For now, I choose to go with standard ISO. Once it's done, connect your USB stick to your computer. You can use Balena Etcher to burn the downloaded ISO to the USB drive. It's recommended to turn off any antivirus program while making a bootable USB with Kali. Once you're done, it's recommended to create a system restore point before installing Kali Linux. This option allows you to take a snapshot of the current state of the system. If something goes wrong with the Kali installation, you can use this backup to restore your system to normal. Now reboot your computer. While it's rebooting, enter the BIOS settings using the keyboard shortcut based on your motherboard. Now mostly it could be F2, F9 or escape key. In the UEFI BIOS, enable USB boot and change the boot order by setting the USB drive as primary. Now disable secure boot, which is very important for Kali to boot. Also, if there's an option like Microsoft's third-party UEFI, enable it. It's also better to clear any keys or certificates after disabling the secure boot. Now once it's done, save the changes. Now your system will boot into Kali Linux from the USB drive. If in case it fails to boot, use the boot menu to load Kali install media. Now choose the graphical install option. Then choose the language. In my case, I will choose English as my default system language. Next up, choose your location and keyboard layout. Now the installer setup will start loading all the components and wait for a few seconds. Now configure the network. You can choose an Ethernet or WLAN interface for the internet connection. For now, I'm going to choose WLAN 0 interface and connect to Wi-Fi. Now leave the hostname as Kali, and in the domain section, I will leave it as empty. Now create a new user account by entering the username and password. It's time to create a partitions for Kali Linux. In this video, I will be using the automatic option. I'm gonna choose the largest continuous space. Now, this will find the free space that we allocated for Kali previously and create the necessary partitions. Now, if in case you have a spare drive on your PC, you can choose an entire disk and select the appropriate drive. But for now, I'm gonna choose the first option. Now, as you can see, these are the two new partitions it has created, and click on continue. The installer setup will start installing the basic system files. Once it's done, you will be presented with this menu where you have to choose your favorite desktop environment. You can choose GNOME, KDE Plasma, and XFCE. In my case, I'm going to install the GNOME desktop environment and click on continue. Now sit back and relax. The installation process may take some time depending on the writing speeds of the disk. Once it's done, go ahead and restart the computer. While it's restarting, eject the pen drive. Now by default, it will boot into Grub Bootloader, from where you can boot into Windows 11 or Kali Linux. For now, let's just boot into Kali. Then inside Kali, open the terminal and run this command to edit the grub configuration file and change the default grub time limit to 30 seconds. Once it's done, save the changes by pressing Ctrl+O and exit with Ctrl+X. As a bonus part of the video, if in case you don't like Kali Linux and decided to uninstall, then reboot your computer back to Windows 11. Now open the Disk Manager by typing this command on the search menu. Here, next to the C drive, you can see two partitions which has been created while installing Kali Linux. Go ahead and remove these partitions by deleting them. Now you will see unallocated free space that you can use and expand Windows partition. Once it's done, we need to delete the Grub bootloader which is present inside the Windows EFI partition. To do so, open command prompt and run as administrator. Then type the disk part. Now type list space disk. Now this will show all of the connected drives to the PC. Now in my case, I have connected only one drive, which is where Windows and Linux bootable files are installed. I'm going to select this drive by typing this command. Then type list partition to list out all of the partitions on this drive. You might see 3+ partitions. Look for the system partition or EFI partition. Now mostly it's the first one. Select this partition by typing this command. Once it's selected, type assign a letter is equals to P to mount this partition temporarily. Now type exit to get out of the disk part prompt. Now type P:, And this will change the directory. Then type dir to list the contents of that partition. Now change the directory into EFI by typing this command. Now if I type dir, this will list the contents of the EFI folder. Here you can see Kali Linux and Windows boot files. Go ahead and delete the Kali directory by running this command. That's it. Now we have successfully removed Kali Linux. Now restart your computer. It should boot your system directly into Windows 11 and you won't face any grub issues. This is how you properly set up a dual boot on your Windows computer. That's pretty much it. What do you guys think about it? If you have any questions, do post them in the comment section down below and I will try to help you. Thanks for watching. This has been KSK Ryle. I will see you in the next one.